team at 5, WYFF News 4. Now, WYFF News 4 presents For the Record.
Welcome to For the Record. I'm Nigel Robertson. WYFF News 4 is committed to bringing you important issues that are affecting our community. For the next 4 weeks, we are partnering with the United Way of Greenville County to highlight the organization's 4 main objectives, or 4 ways we can win: improving access to housing, childcare, education, and transportation for everyone across Greenville County. Today, we are focused on housing. We'll speak with the United Way's Vice President of Community Impact, as well as the President and CEO of the Greenville Housing Fund. But joining me first this morning is Megan Bart, President and CEO of the United Way of Greenville County. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure, Nigel. Good to see you.
Let's talk a little bit about the United Way. People have heard it. They know, they recognize the name, but what is it?
United Way has been in our community, believe it or not, for 102 years. So we are an institution that has been around for a very long time. Simply put, we look at the most pressing needs in our community. We raise money to invest in the areas where we can have an impact, and we do that by galvanizing the community to make the impact that we hope to see.
For people who are watching at home, how do they get involved?
You know, one of the best ways to get involved with us, of course, is to volunteer in our community. We have a lot of different activities happening year-round. One of our most well-known activities and beloved activities of our community is Hands-on Greenville Day, which just took place a few weeks ago. We absolutely love that because over 2,500 volunteers come together to make an impact in Greenville County. That said, we have opportunities to mentor young people. We have opportunities to make sure that we're packing supplies for people experiencing homelessness, for some of our students. The opportunities are really endless for people to get involved.
With a community as huge as ours and growing, how do you find 1, 2, 3, or 4 issues to focus on?
Yeah, you know, we're slated to have an additional 240,000 people join Greenville County by 2040. That's not that far away. So we know that that growth means a lot of great things for Greenville County, but we also know that it means it'll put strains on our social infrastructure. So when you think about things like housing, education, childcare, transportation, we landed on those 4 issue areas because we asked our community. We asked our incredible nonprofit partners. We asked people who are struggling to make ends meet. We surveyed as many people as we could. We looked at the data, the research of the trends, and really landed on those 4 areas as the place where we could make the best possible impact. And we do that in a few ways. One, of course, is investing in incredible nonprofits who are able to get results for our community. But we also know that we can't program our way out of every issue in our community. We have to look at ways that we can advocate. So policy and advocacy is a big opportunity for us, as well as systems change. And what we mean by that is really how we look at the big systems, those things like transportation or housing, and really start affecting the root cause of some of these issues that ultimately affect almost 60,000 people who are experiencing poverty right now.
Absolutely. So when we're talking about housing right now, what is the issue when it comes to housing that Greenville County is facing?
I wish I could say that there is really one issue,
exactly,
right? And you'll hear from some incredible partners of ours who have deep expertise in that area. Part of it is there's just not enough housing, right? There's not enough housing at all areas of the spectrum, whether you're experiencing homelessness, you're in transition, or if you're looking for an affordable housing option. It is no secret that with the growth of Greenville, we've become very, very expensive in Greenville as well. So that's really putting the squeeze on people who are working really hard, but just can't quite afford housing that meets the needs of themselves or of their family. So we're really looking at that critically and investing in incredible partners who are making a big difference in our community to make that issue more manageable for us as a community.
And how do you pick the partners? Because I could give you a long list of organizations that work with the housing issues that you just mentioned, but you can't do it all.
That's right. You know, we run a rigorous request for proposals process, meaning that people fill out an application to tell us, here are the results that we can get with United Way funding. I sometimes say that United Way funding is hard to get because we do have a rigorous process. We have to honor the incredible investors who trust us with their money to make the best decisions where we see the best possible impact. So people apply for our funding. We have a ton of people who review those proposals, staff members, volunteers. We go out and do site visits to look at the programs, to talk with the leaders of these organizations, and ultimately have a really tough recommendation to our board of directors, which is 39 members strong, Nigel, to then determine where to invest. But listen, at the end of the day, the need is so enormous that we'll never have enough money to fund all the incredible nonprofits that we have in our community. So it's a tough decision, of course, but we're really, really confident that we have strong investments that are able to get results for our community.
And I would imagine you have to use the weight of United Way or the reach of United Way to look at policy and politics as well, because as Greenville grows, areas become residential or they become commercial. They're not in the city center anymore. So finding places to do affordable housing or to help organizations that do that, it's got to be like almost a chess game. You got to be thinking 2 steps ahead.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it, right? Our county has changed so dynamically and so quickly and will continue to do so.
Absolutely.
So really thinking about the future and what we anticipate in 2030, 2035, and that's why with How We Win, our strategy at United Way, we really focused on a longer term goal through 2030 for how we address some of these pressing issues. So that's been a really important part of that. And again, partnering with our companies, partnering with our nonprofits, partnering with our civic leaders has been really, really important in terms of being able to move the needle on the work that we care so deeply about. And you mentioned policy and advocacy. You know, we of course are a nonpartisan organization.
Exactly.
And that's one of the beautiful parts about United Way is that we're able to work with everyone to identify the policy plays within those 4 areas of education, childcare, housing, and transportation to really make an impact both at a city level, a county level, a state level, and in some cases at the federal level.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to dive in straight ahead. We'll speak with the Vice President of Community Impact of the United Way of Greenville County on ways to make housing more accessible to all.